everybody for coming out and enjoying this beautiful exhibition. There are many artists in this world, and we've now come to appreciate the gift of photography. But very few artists dedicated their life to speaking through photos and photographs. And these images mean a lot to many of us. Those of us who love music maybe see these images in a different way. If you love art, you'll see the photographs in a different way. If you love wine, now after today, you might see the photographs in a different way. But art is really one of those things that's timeless and gets reinterpreted in different ways. It's been an absolute honor to be here at Iconic Images, a fantastic gallery. The team here loves music and art and photography, so it's a beautiful venue for us to do this exhibition. And it's been a privilege to really work with Brian. Brian, for me and my wife, this experience has been amazing because we grew up really appreciating the album and the photographs that we used that you see out here. There was some of the most priceless artwork that I could afford, in a university those days. But many of the photos that are in this exhibit were never shown. They were, unfortunately, the producers or the folks who choose which pictures make it to a cover or to a magazine are not the most art-loving people. I don't know, I don't want to put them down in any way. But the brilliance of this artist, this photographer, is shown through the number of photos within a given theme that are extraordinary. And when I had the privilege to see some of these photos, the alternative photos, and see how much depth they had, I felt these needed to be shared with the world, and that's how this project was born. And it's been an absolute honor to work with Brian. One thing that I should mention to those of you who are a bit younger is that none of these photos have any digital processing done to them. And that's incredibly difficult to fathom, to imagine that somebody would have to climb a mountain and a photographer would just have a camera and some lighting and be able to capture that. And even then, they didn't know if they caught what they thought they caught. They had to wait until they went to the dark room and emerged with a miracle, right? Let's call it that, because a lot of these shots are not things that you can plan. You can't plan the storm. You can't tell the clouds to move a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. You can't predict the weather on the day that those shots were made. There's a lot of similarities with wine. We can't control the weather. What you drink is a vintage that we didn't control. But we tried to do the best with that vintage and make it process. But it's just an absolute honor. I wanted to have Brian come and say a few words. And really, it's been an absolute honor to be working with him, and I want to raise a toast to Brian. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pierre. Well, what can I say? It's a beautiful place, isn't it? It's a great gallery. I can't imagine myself some of the galleries I've visited due to being in photography. Considering when I reflect back to where I grew up and the conditions I grew up in as a little boy, and where I find myself now, appreciated by great people like Tracy or Pierre in this world as I grow older. And I just, can hardly comprehend it in a way, what's happening to me now. Just because I worked so hard all my life at photography. A lot of people give it up. I don't blame them. Actually, it's a very difficult thing to do. And as Pierre quite appropriately said, these are analog photographs. All the photographs you see surrounding me and down these side walls here, none of the external ones because they're not mine, were taken in 5 working days. All I spent was 5 working days of my life to produce these pictures. Somehow I had the gift to be able to produce them so well. And that's what has made what we do today really special, because we actually get the exposure right. Yes, they're all analog photographs. They're, as Kiera did say, they are done in the dark room or whatever you might call it. No modern machinery in terms of I lost my track there. Photoshop. They're done the old way. So I'm an old man, maybe. And they will last and live forever. And we hope some of these pictures will.
Yes, they will.
Be on show forever. But they were just done for a rock band. I'm going to be honest tonight and say that I did them as a job. I wanted to make these photographs really good. I tried my hardest for Depeche Mode. Every single project I did for them, which I think was 5 or 6, isn't it? Yeah. I really worked hard for them, for all the fans. But I was also working hard for myself. I wanted to display how good I was as a photographer. I wanted to show the world how good I was. Why did I want to show the world? Because there was nowhere to show your work in these old days. Shop windows, magazines maybe, knocking on doors, talking to designers who probably didn't like your work or did like your work by a miracle. And but these photographs now are glowing and coming out and living, because they weren't done by a photographer who I'm a black country boy, I don't know how to put it. I'm a yam, you see, and we don't do what people tell us to do. We are rebellious in many ways. We don't follow the theme of appeasement or anything. We just do what we think and how we feel. And I've always done that. I've never subsided and given way to other people's demands when I've been a photographer. And it's ended up like this.
Hallelujah, yeah.
We're blowing you up, Brian. Thank you,
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian. People have asked a couple of questions. I wanted to talk a little bit about the project as well. Sensoria Intrigue is the name of this collection. The word sensoria came to us because that's the part of the brain that processes different senses. And we felt that that would be an apropos collaboration between artists and wine and other forms of art. Intrigue is something that's a word that Brian really came about in talking about these photographs and his approach to photography. And it's a beautiful theme that we've taken. All of these prints are available for the first time in this format. We plan on taking this to other locations and sharing it with the world. If you want to add one of these to your collection, they are available. There's only edition of 9. And that's the reason for that is we wanted to share it with the world, but then have the people who really collect art and appreciate it be able to do that and have it be special. Sometimes these photographs are on coasters and objects of commodity, and they mean more. They should be in museums, they should be in homes, they should be appreciated by the next generation, like the great artists that came before us. So we're very committed to this project. We're taking this hopefully to the United States in the summer and Europe. And also the wine is available, but again, that's not the focus. We're not doing this as a marketing ploy to sell wine. Our wine is great. We make such small quantities anyway that, the one will exist. But it's really about this community, bringing everybody together. So should you have any interest in following up on any of the topics, we're here tonight. And again, thank you very much for coming out and sharing your opinion.
We get the music back now?
Yes.
Wife.